All right, all right, all right. There he is, the man that is trying to become Mike Tomlin's agent. Right?
How am I going to go about doing that?
I don't know. It's up to you now. You got to go get him that big TV job so you can get that commit. You know that if you and I get the commission just from getting him the TV job, it's more than you and I make like in 10 years. So it's kind of it's a good move for you. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to help you here. You know what I'm saying? This guy's ready to move on to the TV land right now.
He's going to TV. I guess take a little break from coaching. Well-deserved one after all he's dealt with in Pittsburgh. So go do that, and then I imagine he'll get the itch to get back into coaching pretty soon here.
Yeah, dude, he takes a year off.
Well, I mean, for the Dolphins.
No, he takes a year off, and he rejuvenates. He gets on TV. He shows his charisma, yada, yada, yada. Teams fall in love. And, he's going to want full power of everything. So then people will line up a year from now, or maybe 2, and then he'll get back in, and then he'll go wherever he wants. Because if he does it within the next year or 2, the Steelers get compensation. You have to trade for him. But if he waits 2 years, then you get him as a free agent. So it all depends. Does he want to do TV for a year or 2? I mean, let's ask you. You're the agent. So you're getting him the TV jobs, so you're going to have to fill us in. Does Mike Tomlin want to do 1 or 2 years of TV?
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like after 1, he might just end up getting back into it, but you never know. You get a cushy TV job where you don't have the day-to-day grind. You just have to talk about football. You get paid millions of dollars to do it, and just offer your analysis and criticism of everything else going on, and you're not the one getting criticized, and you never know. You can fall in love with it and just keep at it. So, yeah, I mean, he'll be able to get whatever he wants, though, once he does want to get back into coaching.
Okay, can you agree with me that the Dolphins are not getting Harbaugh or Stefanski? You're not doing that hopium bullshit, right? I mean, like, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, don't hopium this shit, and it doesn't happen, right? So I do this all the time to you, and every time I tell you, yo, this is not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So, first of all, is there any part of you suckered into Harbaugh or Stefanski?
You want to throw Stefanski into that as well?
I think he takes Tennessee. Yeah, I think he takes a job with a quarterback, my brother. They don't have a quarterback here, and they have cap hell. I think he's going to have the second. I think this guy Harbaugh goes to the Giants, when it's all said and done. Well, oh, yeah, no, Marvin Allen is. Yeah. That was already in the works, the whole Marvin Allen thing.
Yeah, that just came out.
It came out publicly, but that was already kind of in the works already that he was on the outs. But
which makes sense once you have a shakeup at GM, that then they trickle.
Yeah. And Marvin will land quickly somewhere else.
Oh, he's so well respected, well known across the league. Like, everybody loves Marvin Allen across the league.
Yeah, Marvin's
talking people at the combine. It's just everyone knows him.
Yeah, Marvin's great. So I don't think they have a shot. Well, you're already good, at least on Harbaugh, right?
I mean, yeah, I've always felt why would Harbaugh want to come into this situation? I understand the Ross connections. Like, that would be the only way, is if he just says, you know what, I want to go to Miami. It's a low pressure situation because they're expected to lose for a couple of years. And, I get to be with my buddy Stephen Ross, and I get to be in Miami. I don't have to go somewhere cold. Retire down here, just trying to turn the Dolphins around. That's the only way, because otherwise, why would you want to take on as the highest, the most prized coaching candidate in this search? Why would you want to go into a situation where you don't know who your quarterback is? You're about to take on the huge dead cap hit with Tua. And then obviously, I know you've mentioned no connection with the new GM, John Eric Sullivan. So that would also factor into, I would believe John Harbaugh does not come here. Stefanski, though, I would have put in the same category. I mean, two-time coach of the year, but I mean, also just coming off a situation where he was fired. So similar to Mike McDaniel, you mentioned Tennessee. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans go and now they got to let their whole interviews play out. But shoot, they might look at, hey, Mike McDaniel got the most out of Tua Tagovailoa for a couple of years. Then it went south after that, but he got him to a place where, okay, he was a Pro Bowler one year. He was leading the league in passer rating. He had the offense humming, this and that, where maybe he's a guy who could develop a Cam Ward. I actually would like Cam Ward as a University of Miami alum with Mike McDaniel, given what I know about both of them. So I could see that going that way. And then I would not put Stefanski in the category out of the question for the Dolphins. Not at all.
Okay. All right. So for argument's sake, let's just leave Stefanski out of it for the moment. Okay. Since I'm pretty sure Stefanski's not coming here whatsoever.
Okay, yeah,
There's
right,
plenty of other
be that
places, plenty of Atlanta, Tennessee. There's other places that he can go that are going to be, I think, better than Miami. He doesn't have to deal with the cap hell. By the way,
maybe Atlanta gets Harbaugh.
Baltimore may want Stefanski. I mean,
that
why
would be
not?
Wild. That would be so
Yeah, but I mean, you got a really good team. Supposedly you thought you were going to compete for a Super Bowl this year. Well, then if you feel you're that close, then you better go get a guy that is there already, not a young guy that needs to grow or whatever. So you're going to get an experienced guy, and I would not be surprised if Stefanski's the guy, that goes to Baltimore. So anyways, for shits and giggles, follow me on this, okay? They're not getting Stefanski, and they're definitely not getting Harbaugh. I will bet my life on it that they're not getting Harbaugh. So, if you were the circle there of the Dolphins, which is the guy you like the most? That you would say, out of this group, out of what I've done my homework, this is the guy out of this list that I think the Dolphins should hire. Who is it?
Boy, yeah. I mean. Okay, and you're telling me I can't choose Stefanski now?
I just said that, yes. you speak the English, or what's going on here, man? Do you understand me, or what's going on?
I also got a lot of updates that I'm trying to keep track of at the same time.
Like I said, shits and giggles. You're not getting Harbaugh. I know you're not getting Stefanski, but I'm taking him out of the equation. I'm going to give you the realistic list that you refuse to look at. So now here's the realistic list without those two candidates. Who does David Furones tell the Miami fan base, this is the guy I need right now to restart the Dolphins?
See, this is so difficult for me because I know these names, but I don't know them personally. I'm not interviewing them. But I mean,
neither are we, David.
Well, so previously I did tell you.
I mean, I know I have microphones inside the offices, but really I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? So they've got to do it in the offices that I've got mic'd, So, but I'm not there all the time. So, most of us aren't, David. So come on, tell us which one. Come on.
Yeah. All right. I might lean toward Jeff Hafley, especially with the connection already there. From Green Bay with John Eric Sullivan. So guys who work well together, I believe they did from everything I've come to find out about their relationship in Green Bay, a couple of years Hafley there. I believe Hafley would also, as a coach with a defensive background, so you remember he was a head coach at Boston College before. And remember when Mike McDaniel was in, he first hired the offensive line coach at Boston College. They do a lot of zone blocking, which I think is a good system, outside zone blocking. Get that in the run game. That's why, Matt Applebaum was the first O-line coach that he brought in here. That didn't work as far as his retention, but just having the system in place. And how I always felt Boston College linemen coming into the league were always candidates. So Hafley was there for all of that. So I feel like he would bring in an offensive staff that at least brings in where it's not as much turnover for the system that's running, which I think is a good system kind of like a Shanahan style of offense that could work, is what I believe Hafley would then do on the offensive side, which then gives Quinn Ewers a chance on the back end. I wrote about that just yesterday. Is what would bode best for Quinn Ewers in a transition where he got a few starts. So give him the best shot to let you really see what you've got in him as you go through a transition, go through a year where you might take your lumps and you can't spend very much. And then it's a system where it could work. Just having this kind of transition as then you find out what you really need and whether you need a quarterback in the 2027 draft when it's expected to be a stronger quarterback class.
Yeah. I will say I like the fact that he's been on 5 NFL teams. So the fact that he's bounced around, I find it to be a huge positive overall, because that way you get to know different schemes and different systems. He's also been on a few college staffs besides being the head coach of Boston College. He was at Rutgers and Ohio State and all kinds of stuff. So he's had a rich history overall. So I kind of like that. I kind of understand and like that pick. It's not my selection out of this list. For me, I'm more of a Mike McCarthy guy. I think right now, I talked about it last week. I would treat the Dolphins right now like an expansion team because I'm going
Yeah.
through cap hell for 2 years. I don't have a lot of expectations, really. If you have a brain, don't have high expectations. I've got a whole bunch of picks over the next 2 years. I've got a young core right now. Initially, I don't have a quarterback, so I've got a chance now. I've got a honeymoon period, like an expansion team would. Nobody's expecting anything, especially in the first year. So for the first 2 years, I get to draft and develop guys along with the guys I have to kind of develop my culture and everything else. That in year three, I might be ready to really compete and turn the corner if I did everything right in year 1 and 2 with the draft picks, with the coach and all that kind of stuff. So what I love about Mike McCarthy, and I talked about this last week, is I can treat him like Renee Latchman. I can treat him like Kevin Lockery. So when Kevin Lockery took the heat and Cycli and all those kind of guys, you might be too young for this, but when he got him close to a playoffs, yeah, well then they cleared house and they brought in Riley to take him to the next level.
Right.
When the Marlins were being brought along with Renee Latchman, when it was ready, they went and got Jim Leland and then made their run, and the rest is history. So I kind of like Mike McCarthy as the guy that can kind of set the foundation for me. And if he overachieves and does a great job, I keep him in years 3 and 4 and you move on. But if he at least sets the culture for me, does everything, does a real professional job for me, I can then get the hot guy 3 years from now. And then he can kind of take my collection of talent and everything else, because I'm the GM. I'm picking all the talent. I have a time now, and I have a coach that can at least be a professional and bring everything along for me. Plus, he knows me because he was in our system and our draft room for many, many years now. And we won a Super Bowl with the man. Plus, he can build a staff. These are the things that we don't know about Hafley. We don't know about Kubiak. We don't know about Minter. We don't know about Shepard. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if they can build staffs. And so to me, I kind of would treat the Dolphins kind of like an expansion at this moment, because you have that transition time there. And by the way, if you want to get high on your own supply, and we now find out that Mike Tomlin's going to be out for 2 years, the 2 years that Mike McCarthy warms up the seed and all the talent, you can then bring in Mike Tomlin in year 3.
See, I wasn't even considering Mike McCarthy as one of the, because I'm going off of the known candidates that.
Oh, that's right. You know what?
Have requested interviews with.
My bad. I thought they had requested McCarthy. They have not. My bad.
Okay, yeah.
My bad.
But
so
I mean,
out of the young guys,
yeah.
out of the young guys, it's Clint Kubiak that I like.
Okay.
Out of this list, he's been on 7 NFL teams. He's been on, I think it's 2 college teams. at the same time. I like that. I like a guy that has bounced around and has seen all kinds of coaches and systems and schemes, and he's gotten to know his Rolodex grows because he gets to know all those coaches, and it gives him an opportunity. So out of that list, out of the young guys, which I don't know if they can build a staff, I got to go with Clint Kubiak out of that one, or Salah would be my number 2.
Okay, yeah. You prefer someone who has been around more NFL organizations as opposed to someone who went had a coordinator job at a high-end school in college, got a head coaching college job, and then went back and forth with the NFL. So,
but I like your guy has been around the NFL a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the one I don't like, the one that the fans all fall in love with.
Is that Chris Shula?
Yeah, that's a stupid pick. He's only been on what I think it is 2 NFL teams.
Well, he's been with the Rams this whole Sean McVay,
and he was with the San Diego Chargers for 2 seasons as a quality control coach. So he doesn't have enough experience, and he's going to come here and he's going to try to coach under the shadow of his grandfather.
That'll be a tough spot.
No, Papa. No. He needs to go to 30 other teams that aren't the Rams and the Dolphins. That's where he needs to go. The last place that Chris Shula should ever go to is the Miami Dolphins. Okay? That is pure. One, he's not even ready for it. He's going to fail so badly. It's ridiculous because he's so young still, dude. He needs more maturity overall. I would definitely not put him in this position. Oh, my God. The fans will make him like he's the savior, bro. And they don't even remember that Shula's actual sons weren't great coaches. Maybe it skips a generation, but, I don't know, bro. Come on.
Right, one generation, and the next it was Dave Shula, right? Who
Mike and David Shula.
Yeah,
Mike Shula was an assistant in the NFL. David Shula was an assistant, but also ended up becoming the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Mike Shula also became the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, but they weren't winning, and then they Jim Leland his ass, and they brought in Saban, and then they started winning. It's interesting. I just talked about Renee Latchman, and that's exactly what they did. Mike Shula was Renee Latchman at Alabama, bro. How about that? So exactly what I'm talking about with Mike McCarthy, which is what I would do in a perfect world here. That's exactly what Alabama did. Well, he did a nice job. He did all right. Let's go get Saban, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't wish it upon Chris Shula. Now, I think he's going to be a strong candidate. He's been under Sean McVay. Hey, Sean McVay didn't have all this coaching experience before he took a head coaching job before 30. So, and then he's found success. So it's not to say like you need.
Well, no, but he's a coach's kid too. He's a coach's kid. He's been around football. There's that. And he's also got that photographic memory, which really is, that's like next level shit that some human beings haven't. What's the name of the red hair lady from Taxi? What's her name? Mary Lou, whatever. She has also a photographic memory. She can remember every moment of her life. And Sean McVay is like that. He has photographic. Mary Lou Henner. He has that photographic memory that he can remember everything and anything that goes on, dude. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't remember yesterday.
I don't remember sometimes the question you just asked me when I'm about to answer it. So so there it is for me, like earlier in this segment.
That is true.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish the situation upon Chris Shula to come here. That's just way too big of an expectation. I would like to see him get a head coach job somewhere else. I think he will be a strong candidate. If it's not this year, eventually, I think you're already seeing that. So so he will be a strong candidate that I think eventually lands a head coach gig, especially being under Sean McVay and running a strong defense with the Rams. Maybe at times, like at times that Carolina game didn't look that way, but yeah, I mean, otherwise, yeah, I really like what they're doing on that side of the ball in LA. So I could see it eventually, just not now. But yeah, back to your original point, McCarthy. Yeah, if you can bring him in, he'd be my top choice. Sure, if you go outside of Harbaugh, shoot, if it's between even McCarthy and Stefanski, I'd probably go McCarthy.
Wow.
If you put them two head to head, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. I would go Stefanski.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's close. It's close.
Yep, because I think I can definitely keep Stefanski long term, and I like him as a quarterback guy, overall. But wow, that's interesting. I don't think you can lose.
I like him as a run game, O-line building coach, which I think would bode well for the Dolphins, especially since they've already set some of that up with Aaron Brewer, with the Patrick Paul. Jury's going to be out on Jonas Vainaya. You got to develop him, but I think he would build a strong O-line, how you've always seen in recent years with Cleveland, how he had that run game humming with Dalvin Cook in Minnesota as offensive coordinator before he got to the Browns. So I see him as that, and then I still kind of question as far as his quarterback development, because then what was best that they had, it was with Joe Flacco coming in and leading them to the playoffs in 2003. I know it's the Cleveland Browns and they had the whole Deshaun Watson thing, so I think jury would still be out on him as far as developing quarterbacks at this stage.
By the way, Diana Rossini is now reporting that as John Harbaugh continues to gather information about his next landing spot, I'm told Giants, Falcons, and Titans are considered the favorites to land the former Ravens head coach at the time. And, yesterday, Schefter threw out those three plus Cleveland in there. And my theory is that John Harbaugh is going to be really, really classy in all of this. Miami's not even going to be used. Normally they're used in some of these things to drive up the price, and then they go somewhere else. But because of Jim Harbaugh, John is not going to do the dick move on Miami.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if he does the dick move, it'll be on Cleveland. So that's why Schefter yesterday threw those three teams along with Cleveland in there and no Miami. And when I saw that, I go, oh, okay, I see what's going on. He's going to use Cleveland as the sucker, because if anything, I thought, how Riley gets that token interview with the star that he never gets anymore because they just give it to him because he's Riley and all that kind of shit. I thought that's what was going to happen with John Harbaugh, that he would give him a token interview on behalf of Jim. But when I saw that it was Cleveland, I go, oh, dude, he's thinking next level. He's not even going to use the old man. He's going to use Cleveland instead, so he doesn't shame the old man by using him to, offer him the world and then, use that offer to extract more from the Giants and from the Falcons and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think Cleveland is going to be the one that's going to be trolled, not the Dolphins in this one. What do you think?
That's interesting. So yeah, Harbaugh, the Harbaugh-Ross connection not serving as, oh, maybe it's the catapult that then convinces him to, no. It would be what just has Harbaugh be honest with the Dolphins and say, hey, look, I'm not going to come to this situation and I'm not going to use you guys because I know you guys would offer me the world to go over here, and then I could leverage that somewhere else where I'd be in a better situation. So don't even let it get.
By the way, what do we know about what do we know about his relationship with John Harbaugh? It's Jim, not John. Is it? I don't know anything about him and John.
I mean, I think it's the Harbaughs together. I've heard like that. Ross has invited John Harbaugh over to I think it might have been an Orange Bowl or something. Maybe it was the Orange Bowl where Michigan was in it, and John Harbaugh was there, invited in maybe a suite or something. I'm not sure, but what I understand it to be is that the Ross.
Okay, so Jim is there.
More so Jim, wait a
minute. So Jim's there. That's the head coach of his team. He's there spending all the money he does in Michigan. he's going to be super cordial to the entire Harbaugh family. That's just kind of that doesn't show anything that there's any like thing for John. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you would do if you're Stephen Ross and you're taking care of Michigan people. You're going to take care of anything that's Harbaugh's family. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I think the media makes it out more than what it is on the John Harbaugh side, is what I'm saying.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure closer to Jim, but through that, then there's still a connection there that's there, and that's more than probably John Harbaugh with other owners.
Yeah, he's from Miami of Ohio, bro. He doesn't give a shit about Michigan. He's from Miami of Ohio. I mean, if it was for they used to be the Red Hawks, right, or something like that.
I think that's what they still are.
Or aren't they the ones that changed? They had something that they changed, and I forget it. Anyways, it doesn't really.
Yeah, I still see Red Hawks here. I did a.
Oh, it is Red Hawks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So
we could ask Frank Smith. He's a Miami of Ohio alum.
Yes. All right. So when does this thing end?
Boy. All right. So we got 8 coach candidates. I think they're still adding names. I wouldn't be surprised if more surface this week. I know 8 is already kind of up there. They got to conduct all these interviews. So I say that goes through this week into next week. Then I feel like they have a vetting process of then getting into some finalists to then have another round the week that follows that. So maybe we're maybe on the front end 2 weeks out, and then but more likely bleeds into possibly a third from here. So I think by the end of this month, I think would be a nice timeline there. And then, maybe like 2.5 weeks. And then it could go longer if someone's waiting on someone to make a decision, someone's waiting on something else. Like there's always things that could delay a process. Like last time when the Dolphins hired McDaniel, I remember they were kind of, was it either the last ones or no, they were second to last because the New Orleans Saints were still hiring after Sean Payton had retired. And then the whole thing we found out later about contacting Sean Payton while he was still employed by the Saints. He hadn't retired yet. So that we found out later on in the process, once the whole NFL third-party investigation occurred into the Dolphins following the Brian Flores lawsuit and all that. So there's different things that could delay a decision. But if they're just going interviews now, turning around into some finalists, and then maybe there's also like a coach is still participating deep in the playoffs. If it's like Clint Kubiak with the Seahawks and they're going all the way, then there's something like that could delay it. So, Chris Shula with the Rams. I'm just throwing out the names that are out there and
I know I got you.
Yeah.
That's
all these things.
Yeah. Because this isn't college football with it. Hey, I just got hired. I'm out of here, bro. I'll see you guys later. You guys continue on the playoffs, and you're good luck in the Super Bowl. We're out of here. No, that's you can't take that lane in the NFL.
Ooh, I like what you did there. It worked out well for these guys. Worked out well for the Canes.
It did. But they better not play that way against the way they played against Ole Miss. They will lose badly to Indiana if they do that. They better play a super clean game. Okay, super clean game against Indiana. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up on Friday.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Thank you. There you go, the great David Furones. And, of course, we love our friends at Welt Rheaume, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. They can help you with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. I hope none of this is ever happens to you. But if it does, save this number. Save it on the cell phone, 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. You can go to the website, wrflalaw.com. The consultation is completely free, so you can call and ask for Jeff or Dan and explain your situation, and they'll tell you if you have a case or not. 954-966-4646.